This a botman tool. I promise you. This shit lit, cuz. This shit lit. Alright? Run that joint.
Niggas looking for the light. Me and my niggas prepared for the dog. Yeah. So we gon' get it on for the last days, nigga. You already know what it is. 140 for the rubber.
They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. It's a problem, tell them pop ball. I die for I let my colors fly, ball. For a nigga take me, they'll drop dead. AR, clean them up like a mop pig. Say he cool, he bad, he really so tough. They like, damn, look what he did, it really go rough. Little bitch think she Kiki Palmer, silly hoe. She know I'm that bull, but I ain't from Philly though. From the city where they sing about that ribbon like petty poops. Know them niggas plotting, gotta deal with me. Can't catch me slipping, got to steal with me. Just left Alabama, bought a chopper from some hillbilly move. He made my life feel the blade. Leave them all bruised, come through like a plague. Rebel off the leash like a dog out the cage. Call me Johnny Blaze off Run West May. Watch your step get stretched like a limousine. So my brother bring that blade back wet, that's my enemy. Little nigga, this that cult, need to talk. Niggas know I got blood in my cup, I just sip it like it's grenadine. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war, let's see who make it out. Tell them niggas good night, here come the bitch. Look, told them niggas get right or get left. You PK bad man, I pin to your flesh. Hellboy, rip the soul out of dead man shit. Got the rate, the power, I been a showstopper. Yeah, they might hate, but I know they gon' watch. Zone on lock, and you know the flow prop. Iced out, got the drip out of David Jones lock. Know I got the plan, they say that you the man. No shit, Sherlock, I'm the one you heard about. Burn down the building, let them all watch. Throw that one west up, then I swerve. Sick with this shit, I do not need a detox. He don't watch a step, blow him out them Reeboks. We taking over, I'm sending the word out. Can't see me, little nigga, I put you in a bird box. Look, it's One West practical, gladiator, maximum. Creep on them slow, but they Glock fire rapid. All I want is more power, more straps to blow. Ain't got excuse for no cow, he gon' have to go. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out.
kingdom was split after the 9.5 tribes sailed across the water to a new land.
All of that took place, and we were basically destroyed under the Assyrian Empire. Then we came back to Jerusalem. We were there for a while, and held it down until the Greek Empire came up.
So like you say, is there like a number year or?
Yeah, it's right in here. What did it say?
So like I said, 167 BCE.
Right, 167 BCE. Okay, that should put you. That's where it started. Okay, the Hashmoneans came in, I believe, around 137 AD. So it shows you that whole time they were holding it down. Okay, then once they took it back, we ruled it all the way up to Christ. Those the Sadducees and Pharisees you read about during the time of Christ, those are Hashmoneans. Those are the descendants of Judas Macabees and them. They ruled afterward. They were Levites. So they took over the land back then, and they ruled over the land. How they became Sadducees and Pharisees was through a queen that ruled over Egypt. Not Nefertiti, but another queen. She ruled over a part of Egypt, and she was real powerful. And some people believe she was really a descendant of us. But who knows? But she, and I could get her name if you want. But she, go ahead. Not Beres, not Cleopatra. None of them. None of those. And those were titles, by the way. Those are titles that those women had. So they had other names. So, but anyway, real brief, so I don't go off track. She ruled in Egypt. Matter of fact, the map's not up. She ruled in a part of Egypt, mostly in the Sinai. And she was powerful. She knew how to raise armies. She knew how to organize armies and soldiers, but she believed heavily in our records. So what the Hashmoneans did was they began to use her as as muscle. And as she became like muscle for them, they became more powerful. And that's how they were able to keep control over Israel as they went on and on and on, towards the Roman Empire ruling. So it was a whole dynamic that was going on over there. But it started because Mattathias decided he wasn't going to fall up under the Greeks, which led them all the way up. But they went off also, you know what I'm saying? And they went off also because once again, everybody got played out from following the proper way of the Most High. And definitely after Christ came. When Christ came, anybody that didn't fall in line with Christ ended up getting destroyed in 70 AD. Hand up. Somebody. Go ahead, Alex.
So is this the Hashmoneans you said were the Sadducees, right?
Sadducees and Pharisees.
So, when Christians say that, it's a scripture where it says that Christ came for his own rejected.
Yeah.
Is it talking about the leaders or is it talking about the entire people?
It's talking about the entire nation. Our whole nation rejected Christ. It wasn't just the Sadducees and Pharisees. It was the average cat on the street. All rejected Christ. Remember, even the ones that actually followed Christ, they left him to where he only had the 12. By the time he got up out of there, it was him and the 12. Nobody wanted to be under the heat he was under. You understand? He was under some heat. Peter and them was courageous as hell. Peter and them was real courageous because Peter went and cut that centurion's ear off. That's like the SWAT team showing up. And they roll up on you. Not only the SWAT team, but bust this. It's like the SWAT team showing up and the whole neighborhood come out like, yeah, get that nigga, man. We've been waiting for y'all to come lock him up. That's how they came out for Christ. When you read that story, when he was up on the mountain, he was distraught on that mountain. Remember, he was chastising them. Yo, man, you want me to get it? I'm gonna divert if y'all keep going. I ain't gonna divert. Listen, he said he was like, man, you can't stay and pray with me for a while. Remember, they were tired. They falling asleep. It's been a long day, but he distraught because he know they getting ready to come get him, and he know what he getting ready to go through. So he praying to the Father, and they keep falling asleep. And he like, man, y'all can't stay with me 1 hour because he know they're getting ready to roll up on him, and it's getting ready to get brutal, getting ready to get horrible. And so yeah, that's it was the whole nation. It was the whole nation. Remember, the other part that it was is because remember when he was being chastised by Pontius Pilate, that was the regular people that was out there. It was the Sadducees and Pharisees who was feeding the people to go up against him, which once again, our job is so amazing in this. Our people are insolent to righteousness right now. Like if you walk in the spirit of righteousness, our people look at you like a sucker. Right. That's why Christ said, be wise as a serpent, be as cold as ice, and understand how to be a total killer, but be harmless as a dove. Don't move on them if you don't have to move on, but you better understand how to move on. You better not be asleep on how they move. You better be like, hey, come. I could do him in, but since I know better, I'm going to follow my king and follow those orders. And it's important to follow those orders of the king. It's important for us to follow that king, because outside of him, nobody could deliver the nation. So what he laid down got to be followed. Like any commander, like he know, yo, you going over the hill. All right. You got one group over here. You got another group over here. This the weapons they got. This the weapons they got. When you go over the hill, do this, this, and this. If you don't, you're going to get killed. You go over the hill, you do what he tell you to do. And that's us. So he was in a real bad dynamic. You know what I'm saying? He was in a real bad situation. And they were telling the people to go ahead and wipe us out. They were pressing Christ, pressing the people to do us in, to do him in. And so that's it. I diverted enough. All right. We good? All right. I'm going on. We'll eat tomorrow then, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm messing with Nia Thought. All right. All right. Yes, sir. Let's do it. All right. Let me see if I can get exactly where I was at on this fan. I think I'm going to go to 578. 575, 577, 578. Here we go. Start at 3. All right. So now, just to bring it back up to speed, Christ went on the cross. He died. The ships, the flying saucers came in. They lifted him up in front of the 12. So them brothers would know it was real. It was exactly what you thought it was. It happened. They took him up. He was gone. They was distraught in Jerusalem. They went back, built the camp up. Built it up big and strong and powerful. Passed it on to the brothers that was underneath them. They went on for 40 years, roughly 35, 40 years. They went on teaching this truth. In 68 AD, once again, the Romans were getting aggravated that we had such a stronghold on our belief that we would not conform to their religions. Remember, they tried to tax us. They did all those things to stir us up. We would not bend. So around 68 AD, they arrested Christ's brother. They locked him up, put him in the dungeon. They locked up John the Revelator. They started locking brothers up because we were leading the charge, just like we are today. Same brothers, we back here again. Same sisters, back again. Here we are waking ourselves. You've been here before. This the last time, though. We win this time. I said this time. This time around, we win. Okay? So they locked him up, which caused a riot in Jerusalem. We start going off, just like we do. You know what I'm saying? When they put enough pressure on us or harm one of our black leaders or kill somebody in a real vicious, wrong way, what do? We start rioting. That's what we did in Jerusalem, which meant they had to come. And they wanted to destroy us anyway. Remember, they ruled the whole area. They ruled all the area around. Oh, I got the map. They ruled all the area around our land. They ruled it all. They had the whole world. But our land, that tribe of Judah, with them Benjamites backing them up, and them old machete-carrying Levites, you wasn't going to get nowhere. You wasn't going to get nowhere. So that's when they marched on us. And now I'm going to pick up the story from Josephus. For those of you that may not know, Josephus was a general in our military in Judea. He got conquered. He got captured by the Romans. when the Romans pretty much almost destroyed our whole nation, they offered him to be like a go-between general with us and them. And that's what he did. He became a general in their military, and then he was like a go-between between us and them. He wrote down this account of what took place. I'm going to read some of it. All right? It's a little bit, so I'm going to roll through it. Take it from 3. Go ahead. This is the records of Josephus. So for those of you that may want to know, it's the records of Josephus. It's in particular, it is the Wars of the Jews, chapter 5, I believe, right? I'll go back a page. Yeah, because that's 4. I mean 3, I think. Chapter 3, my bad. All right. Chapter 3, chapter 3, so-called paragraph 3. 3 and 3. All right. Questions, anybody, before I go further? Let's talk about it. Go ahead, Op.
Come. Now of those that perished by famine in the city, the number was prodigious, and the miseries they underwent were unspeakable.
It was unspeakable because they had surrounded the nation and cut it off. And let me tell you something, Op. When I hear about these talks about what is this thing they doing in China? The credit score, something about like your social credit scores, credit cards. I get to the little conspiracy theory, but not that much. But brother, when I hear about those things, that's like a soft kill. We in the Shalom Warrior. Good to see you. Like we in the mode of a soft kill. They slowly shrinking us down. See your gas prices done went up. See all the food is up 3 times the price it was. Rent is up like 4 times high. Everything creeping up. That's like a slow kill. It's like slowly breaking us down. You see crime rising, Shalom Warrior. You see crime rising up more and more. It's like a soft kill. That's what it feels like to me. I'm not saying that's what it is, but it certainly feels like that. It certainly feels. I was just today. Me and the brothers went down. You know, when you hang with General Kabbalah Mob, you got to eat good food. Because he don't play that. So we went to Whole Foods to get some special beef. That's how he rolls. So I'm outside. I'm waiting on the brothers. I'm outside of the Whole Foods. Across the street is Duke University. You know, they're a juggernaut on the East Coast. And y'all from down here, y'all know. And I noticed there was a lot of black people begging right outside of Duke. They was on different corners and all that, and they begging. And I'm watching them, right? And I'm looking at them. And I'm looking at the state they in. And it dawns on me how these brothers and sisters are really in the soft kill. There's no shortage here. There's no shortage of wealth and power here. There's no shortage of money in Durham. We're talking about universities with billions, investments worldwide. We're talking about all kinds of wealth, the richest empire in the world. Yet somehow these people have ended up on a corner begging people for a few dollars in trinkets. That's what I call a soft kill. When I see that, I look at that like, that's something here that's not supposed to be here. That's the mindset we should be in, because it's definitely what these brothers had to experience. So they saw these atrocities. Give me a little bit more, please.
Come. For if so much as the shadow of any kind of food did anywhere appear.
So if any food appeared, a shadow of food appeared, go ahead.
A war was commended presently, and the dearest friends fell a fighting.
A war broke out, and the dearest friends, down with each other, they start fighting each other. Thank God we're going to eat tonight. The dearest friends started battling each other. Lack of brotherhood. Brother, like brotherhood is a weapon that is not easily kept, but more deadly than any weapon you could build. More deadly than anything you could build, but not a weapon that is easy to hold on to. These brothers turned on each other again. And you're going to see that theme all through the scriptures in the record. You're going to see whenever we turn on each other. Listen, we are the only, go check the world. We are the only nation on earth that had to have laws that we don't join the other nations. We the only one. Check all the nations. They don't have to make no laws for no Edomites not to join us. There's no law in America that says you white people got to stay away from black people. None. Yet they stay away from us. But us, you got to have a law. Tazaryak posted a post. Y'all heard about that post? I heard it had like 2.5 million hits on that post. That's how much beef it created with misappropriations of cultures, man. Our identity, man, is the greatest identity in the world. We had better hold on to it. Our brotherhood is the greatest. Our king gave us that weapon. I didn't give it to you. Christ gave us that weapon. Christ said, use this weapon. I know you got other weapons. Use this weapon. No greater gift than a man lay down his life for his neighbor. The law hang on these two things. Love the Lord with all thy might and all thy soul. Love thy brother as thyself. Important for us. Read.
Come. The dearest friends fell a fighting one with another about it, snatching from each other the most miserable supports of life. Nor would men believe that those who were dying had no food. But
right, they were dying, but they didn't believe you had no food. They thought you was faking it. You starving to death. Go ahead.
But the robbers would search them when they were expiring.
This is important. It said the robbers would search them when they were expired. You see these cats that's out here in the streets that's running and running and running? They are among the blinded, the most blinded of our people. And if we don't wake them up, they're going to be picking off the dead bodies of our people as this beast continues to soft kill us, continues to wipe us down. Like cats think it's cool that 50 dudes run up in a spot and steal all that stuff. They don't know they being conditioned to not fight against the person who's enslaving us and destroying us, but to let it happen and to be the vulture to pick up the bones off of it. So you don't even see that the whole reason that I'm in here robbing this store is because this beast has cut my people off from having any kind of wealth. I don't even see that part. All I see is an opportunity to go up in here with my crew and gain something. Brother, that's what they did back here. And it destroyed them. It helped the Romans wipe us the hell out, which you're going to see in this story. Go, Q.
What you saying? They started the news off today about retail crime.
Right.
As gangs.
There you go.
We criminal gangs, like we the criminal conspiracy, what have you. When meanwhile they made those groups that had to try to come up against the Romans.
Yeah.
They had to do that, or they felt as though they wasn't going to get down with Yahushua and them trying to overthrow it right then. They had to squeeze us up out of the land. You understand? We went into captivity in that Roman Empire through them 300 years or what have you, and it finally smashed the Roman Empire. But they had to get us up out of there.
Right.
So,
like
that's what they're gonna do.
You're right. And beat us on our own inability to come together. Beat us on our own inability to come together. If you're a man that come out of a world where you trusted nobody, then you got a tall order to fight your way back to brotherhood. You better fight your way back to brotherhood. If you a man been taught or been conditioned to be a certain way with other men, brother, you better find your way back to righteousness, because you're going to need it in this near future. You're going to need it. And what the brothers and them did up there in New York, you got to have something in you to do that instead of going and scrambling for yourself. You got to have something inside you. And we're going to read tonight about a sister who had that spirit, and it got so bad they broke her. They broke this system. I'm gonna show you to it as we go on. Keep going, bro.
Come on. Lest anyone should have concealed food in their bosoms and counterfeited dying.
Right. They said in case you were faking it and really you had some food, they went and pulled you apart, ripped up your clothes, tore up your house, did everything to find out if you had something to eat in there. That's what happened to us. And listen, you got to read this out, and you got to become mentally strong. You got to read this and say, yo, I'm not doing that. I'm not going there. I'm going to stand on my integrity. I got orders from a king. God damn this filthy place. You know what I'm saying? The Lord's damn right. Let me tell you something, Let me tell you something. The Lord said this. He said, how he put it, the bull on the highest hill belonged to me. You understand? I'm going to go and rob my own brother for what he got in his mouth. I'm not doing that, man. I'm too tough for that. I'm too strong for that. My mind is too powerful for that. Them brothers that's doing it, they don't know better. And unless they come into the truth and find this way, they're going to be caught up into this as we go on. You understand? And it's going to be sad. It's going to be sad. And it's also why the scripture said 2/3 of us are going to die here. You know what I mean? And we real close to this World War III. We in it deep. I love it every day. I love it every day. I felt like a soldier floating on the river. Now I feel like a soldier standing on my goddamn feet. That's how I feel now. You know what I'm saying? Damn right.
Come. It says, nay, these robbers gaped for want and ran about stumbling and staggering along.
They gaped for want. Who got something? What's going on? Just like we doing out here. And a want for what?
So like a gape and a want and ran about stumbling and staggering along like mad dogs.
Like mad dogs over a crumb. That means you lost something. That means your body got the best of you. That means the discipline you're supposed to have to marshal your spirit, to fight for your king, to actually succeed, you lost it. You let it go, you lost it. You in this truth, the scripture say when you come in this truth, prepare yourself for temptation, man. You understand? You got to stay on this truth. You got to get obsessive with this truth, man. You got to make a decision in your mind. First of all, don't even come to work for Christ. Don't come serve Christ and you ain't made up your mind. You know what kind of boss you got? Come on, man. You run up there talking about you gonna serve Christ. You ain't made up your mind. You still wondering if you should get the PS5 or pay your tithe. You playing, man. Don't be playing with him. He ain't that cat. Make your mind up. I made mine up a long time ago. Y'all heard me tell the story many times. I went down there in Harlem, man. Cat told me, asked me any question you ever wanted. I said, good, because I got some questions for you. He answered all them questions for me. I knew I had found the truth. I said, then I was in a jam because it was like, oh, snap. I found it. Now what I'm going to do? I had to go home that night. You know what I mean? And I used to be battling all the time with my ribs mother, who was a staunch Christian. She would always, I didn't know nothing. So she could always get me. I'd be standing in the window. She ripping me. Pop, 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 pop. I ain't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? And vexing me, she tearing my ass up. Because you're supposed to be doing this. You know a Christian woman. She had the big flying saucer hat. I was jammed up. She was like a gangster on me. I think about it now. This was, excuse me. She was like a gangster. She was like Don Corleone, because you supposed to. You know what I'm saying? And here I am. I'm jammed up to one day, man. I'm sitting in the window, man. Because I halfway ain't believe in God, no way, coming up before. And I'm sitting in the window. I'm vexed as hell. She in my ear. And I just turned to the window. I looked out that window and I said, man, if you real, man, show me you real, man, and I'll follow you for the rest of my life. I ain't gonna tell you what happened next, but you see I'm here, ain't I? I'm through with it. You know what I'm saying? Damn right. That's what's real. Let's keep going.
Come. And reeling against the doors of the houses like drunken men.
Banging on your door, railing against the doors, trying to get in, just out of their mind because they weak spiritually. They weak. They can't fight. They can't fight that. They got to have that food or they're going to die. Brother, get your mind right because you about to rule the world. You know what I'm saying? Nations are going to be wondering where y'all get this knowledge from. How do you get this? What did you dig up? How is it you know how to do this? Why you dress the way you do? This they ask these on small levels. Wait till they see you in your full power. The scripture said they stood upon their feet, a great and exceeding army, and fear fell on these nations. I can't wait for that. Woo, I can't wait for that. I cannot wait for that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody know black men, Latino men, you supposed to be the one running the show. That little dweeb is only in power because the Lord put him in power. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. He ain't even a real whole man. You know what I'm saying? Please, let's go.
Con, they would also.
I had their hand up, right? We good? All right, I'm speeding up. Go ahead.
Con. They would also, in the great distress they were in, rush into the very same houses 2 or 3 times in one and the same day.
Robbery gonna go on a whole nother level. They was kicking in doors 2-3 times a day. Keep going.
Moreover, their hunger was so intolerable that it obliged them to chew everything.
Chew everything. If you just see, even if it wasn't, chew everything. Go ahead.
While they gathered such things as the most sordid animals would not touch.
Even the animals wouldn't touch the things that they would touch. Dead carcasses, dead rats, whatever. If it was some dirt in the corner of the room, they go get it, ball it up, chew it to see if there's anything in it they can get out of it. That's how bad they was. They had lost their spirit, man. They had lost their spirit. That's how it was up there in Jerusalem. And brother, this feels a lot like this. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but it sure feels like they killing us slowly. They've already, everything we reading about that these brothers did, we reading about it right now, right or wrong. Brothers is doing the same crime. Hey, what's up, brother? Brothers doing the same crime. Brothers doing all, the same thing. It just ain't hit this level yet. But right now, they robbing grocery stores. They doing all that. And Christ, the King, said, it'll be a time of trouble that has never been since a nation. I didn't say it. He said it. So if I'm a soldier, if I'm a warrior, I got to at least strategize the possibility and understand the mission that I got to help my nation. I got to at least understand it. And I'm not gonna lie to myself and sugarcoat it and make it sweet. Give me more.
Con. And endured to eat them, nor did they at length abstain from girdles and shoes.
Somebody give me a girdle. I know Nyathak got a little girdle in here. Somebody please give me a girdle. Somebody got a girdle. But what am I saying? I got an armband right here. Come on. I'm gonna see who's gonna take a bite of this right here. Who gonna have the heart to sample this joint right here? There it is. There it is. Ate they armbands, ate they girdles, they belts, ate them. That's hell. And this actually ain't the worst, because this is at least it's a skin from an animal. But they did way worse than that. Come on with it.
Con. And the very leather which belonged to their shields, they pulled off and gnawed.
Because the shields back then had leather on them. They pulled off that leather and gnawed on that leather, man, to survive. They was broken. And it is why Christ is raising you up now so that you don't get broken. Understand this. Everything we reading about took place because we turned on each other.
Right.
Remember, we read earlier that it happened because we started disputing against one another. That's why it happened. So here we are. We fighting. If you fighting other brothers, understand that you doing something very dangerous to you and your whole nation. If you in conflicts and beefs with brothers over carnal things, brother, you got a demon on you. You understand? Nothing is worth breaking your brotherhood for. Nothing. You understand? That, and matter of fact, get me the scripture where Paul said, why won't you take load? Come on with it, Abraham. Somebody pull that for me. Somebody pull that scripture. All right. No, you stick with me because we're going to keep reading. Somebody pull that scripture for me. This is a powerful scripture that Paul gave us for these times. Our brotherhood is everything, man. That's right. You know what I'm saying? What took down the Panthers? Traitors. Keep going.
Con. The very wisp of old hay became food to some, and some gathered up fibers and sold a very small weight of them for 4 attic. Drachma?
Drachmas.
Drachma.
Meaning they would sew up a little piece of fabric, sell it for what they call a drachma, which is a small amount of money, and then take that money and try to buy something to eat. Go ahead.
Come.
So that was the only kind of work you was gonna get. You had to sew up a little fabric or something to whoever, I guess, had a little bit more. Go ahead.
Come. But why should I describe the shameless impudence that the famine brought on men in their eating inanimate things?
Right.
While I am going to relate a matter of fact, the like which no history relates, either among the Greeks or barbarians.
Meaning, I'm gonna give you another piece of this history that nobody would write about. Nobody, and that's another thing. That's why they wiping out the history on slavery. Don't nobody want you to know everything that happened. You think they want you to know all the evil things that they did to us and what we suffered? Of course not. And that's what Josephus is saying. He said, I'm gonna break down something else that's even worse, that nobody would put this in the history books because they don't want you to never know what was done to you. Go ahead,
Khan. It is a horrible to speak of it, and incredible when heard.
And incredible when heard. Come on.
I had indeed willingly omitted this calamity of ours, that I might not seem to deliver what is so portentous to posterity.
Right. He said, I myself tried to eliminate it. I was going to try to eliminate it just to not demoralize everybody when they heard it. I tried to not let it come out. Go ahead.
But that I have innumerable witness to it in my own age.
Go ahead.
And besides, my country would have had little reason to thank me for suppressing the miseries that she underwent at this time.
Because Josephus took it on himself to play the role of a historian and to make sure that everybody had just what it is that they had to have in the history. So he said, man, if I eliminate this, my people are going to be mad with me for eliminating it. They're going to say, you ain't do the right thing. So I'm gonna bring this thing out. Read on.
Khan. Now there was a certain woman that that dwelt beyond Jordan.
Right.
Her name was Mary.
Go ahead.
Her father was Eleazar of the village Bethzub.
Go ahead.
Which signifies the house of Hyssop.
So she was like a prominent sister. She had a little money, a little wealth, a little power. She was living beyond Jordan. So she was really living in the last of the Syrian Empire. So she probably didn't leave with everybody else because, of course, she had a little bit more. But now that the whole place was being taken over by the Romans, she had to head back over to her land. And that's where she got stuck at when this war started to break out. Go ahead,
Khan. She was eminent for her family and her wealth, and had fled away to Jerusalem with the rest of the multitude, and was with them besieged therein at this time.
Right. So she fled with them back to Jerusalem and then got caught up into this siege. Go ahead.
The other effects of this woman have been already seized upon.
They stole everything she had. She came back, they had already stole everything she had. Go ahead.
Khan, such I mean as she had brought with her out of Perea and removed to the city. What she had treasured up, besides, as also what food she had contrived to save, had also been carried off by the rapacious guards, who came every day running unto her house for that purpose.
Meaning they came every day, stole her food, stole everything she had, all her jewels and everything she brought. They came and wiped her the hell out. They would come every day and try to get more and more and more from her. Go ahead.
Khan. This put the poor woman into a very great passion.
Come on.
And by the frequent reproaches and preaches she cast at the rapacious villains, she had provoked them to anger against her.
Right. They in other words, they were, this is so us. What I'm about to read, what I'm about to break down right here is so us. They hated her more because they was getting something from her every day. Now tell me that ain't us.
That's right.
They hated her more. They was more angry at her because every day they was able to get something from her. They hated her more than the people who had nothing and they couldn't get nothing from. They were more angry with her. Tell me that is not us. That is not us. We curse the Chinese man out every day, and every day we back there for 4 chicken wings and fried rice.
Right.
Every week. Y'all got more spit in that wonton soup than you ever could imagine. Read.
Come,
I didn't mean to mess up y'all meal.
But none of them, either out of the indignation she had raised against herself, or out of the commiseration of her
The
case.
commiseration, meaning she don't know which one took it too far for her. But this is the point where she was at her breaking point in this siege. Go ahead.
Khan would take away her life. And if she found any food, she perceived her labors were for others.
Right. She recognized that if I find any food, they're going to come and take it from me anyway. Go ahead.
And not for herself.
That's right.
And it was now become impossible for her anyway to find any more food, while the famine pierced through her very bowels and marrow. While also, when also her passion was fired to a degree beyond the famine itself.
Right. Meaning beyond the famine, she was infuriated at the whole state of that we were as a people. She was, furious over it, and it broke her. But go ahead.
Khan. Nor did she consult with anything but with her passion and the necessity she was in.
That's right.
She then attempted a most unnatural thing, and snatching up her son, who was a child sucking at her breast.
This was a baby. She snatched this baby up off the ground. And here's what she said. This is a broken woman. This is a woman here that gets broken when men don't have the strength to raise and fight for their nation. Go.
Oh, thou miserable infant, for whom shall I preserve thee in this war?
She turned on her own baby, like, you miserable infant. Meanwhile, this is the baby she loved. Go ahead.
This famine and this sedition.
Listen, understand something. Understand something on another level. That's you in this captivity. That's you when you lose that job. That's you when you can't pay your rent. That's you when your utilities back up. You become prone to turning on the people that care for you. That's the fight you got to fight. Now you become like this oppression is designed to move you to turn against your own. That's why we hate each other in the hood. We both suffering in the hood. We both catching hell in the hood. So we hate each other in the hood. When you gotta fight against that spirit. You gotta look at that demon and be like, I'm not gonna turn on the brotherhood over this. Go ahead.
Khan. As to war with the Romans, if they preserve our lives, we must be slaves. This famine also will destroy us.
You see what she said? If we preserve our life, if we live, we're going to be slaves, which is what happened. Look at us today. We lived, we got through it. We starving and in poverty and in hell, but we lived through it. But guess what? What are we? Slaves. That's right. Like, brother, slavery is the worst thing could ever happen to you, which is why them brothers fought the way they did. But these brothers who should have been fighting with them let their pain of starvation turn against their own nation and gave Romans the way to come in and wipe us the hell out. Time and time and time again, our king requires us to truly be down with each other. Right. And when damn right. And when we are not, we are victims to every demon in hell. Okay? The average black man can't walk down the street with another black man coming towards him without both of them thinking to themselves, let me size this cat up. It's very difficult, but it is something you got to accomplish if you want to raise up Christ's kingdom. And if you don't, you're gonna lose it anyway. Give me some more. I'm going over a little bit as them plates coming out. We'll stop soon, y'all. Go ahead. I got to get this, and then Q pull me up the Maccabees and the Apocrypha. Go ahead.
Even before that slavery came upon us, even before that slavery comes upon us, yet are these seditions rogues more terrible than both the other.
Go ahead.
Come on, be thou my food, and be thou a fury to these seditious varlets and a byword to the world.
Like a woman back then, her natural spirit is to serve a man. So this woman is still in the spirit of trying to serve these wicked ass men. She's still trying to, even though they took everything she got, vexed her to the end, she's still trying to serve them. But even in serving them, she just go to the limit of extreme pain. Read on.
Khan, which is all that is now wanting to complete the calamities of us Jews.
Right. To complete the calamities, let's go on and eat our babies. Go ahead.
As soon as she had said this, she slew her son.
She killed the baby. Go ahead.
And then roasted him and ate the one half of him.
Brother,
and kept...
you got to have lost your mind. So killing him is one. Roasting him is another. Eating half of him is beyond the pale. That's what happened to us. That's what happened to us. And listen, that is the spirit of the people that's ruling over you, whom you love so much, whom you want to have blonde hair like them, who you want to be part of their world, who you love their money so much, who you want to be a part of their sports and everything else that has to do with them. I want to see the end of them and the beginning of Christ's kingdom. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, I ain't done yet. Y'all got to bear with me a little longer for the tape's sake. All right. Let's get the food out. Keep going.
A
little bit longer, y'all.
And kept the other half by her concealed.
Kept the other half of the baby right near her. Come on.
Upon this, the seditious came in presently, and smelling the horrid scent of this food, they threatened her that they would cut her throat immediately if she did not show them what food she had gotten ready.
They said they'd kill her if she didn't bring it out. Go ahead.
Khan. She replied that she had saved a very fine portion of it for them, and with all uncovered what was left of her son.
She uncovered the boy in front of them. I saved y'all a good part. Y'all ready? Here we go. Boop. Go ahead.
Khan. Hereupon they were seized with a horror and amazement of mind.
Like it snapped them out of the madness they was in. It was so horrific that they was shocked. Even them, they was ravenous a minute ago. When they saw this half a baby roasted, prepared for them to eat, they snapped out of it. That's what it had to take. And a lot of that is what's it's gonna have to take for us to snap out of it. If you don't turn back to the king and do his bid, then yes, you're gonna get strung out on drugs. And you're gonna need to get strung out on drugs so you could be destroyed to the point that you snap out of it. Yes, you're going to jail. Yes, you're gonna see horrors in prison. Yes, you're gonna go through all of that. Why? Because that's what it takes for you to snap out of it. We have to serve our king. If we do not, then this is our fate. If we don't carry out this brotherhood he prescribed for us, then believe you me, whatever they planning for us, whatever is happening to this kingdom, whatever destruction is on its way, you can best believe you're going to get crushed underneath it. That's right. Be wise and let that not happen to us. Right. Give me a little bit more. All right. And sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to finish this out. Go ahead.
And stood astonished at the sight when she said to them, "This is mine own son."
They were shocked. Go ahead.
And what have been done was mine own doing.
Go ahead.
Come eat of this food, for I have eaten of it myself. Do not ye pretend to be either more tender than a woman or more compassionate than a mother, but if you be so scrupulous and do abominate this my sacrifice, as I have eaten the one half, let the rest be reserved for me also. After which those men went out trembling, being never so much affrighted at anything as they were at this, and with some difficulty they left the rest of that meat to the mother.
They said with some difficulty. They still was like, we should eat it, man. We should still eat it, man. And they was like, hell no, we ain't eating that baby. Man, I'm telling you, man, we don't know when we're gonna get our next meal. They had lost their mind. That's our brothers out there. And if you don't hold strong, they definitely are not gonna hold strong.
Right.
Like, you want to know how serious your job and big your job is? You had got to learn from your forefathers, these Hashmoneans, man. Okay, these Maccabean brothers. Go ahead, finishing it up, y'all. Almost done. Come on.
Upon which the whole city was full of horror.
Everybody heard about this, and they was in an uproar. Go ahead.
And while everybody laid this miserable case before their own eyes, they trembled as if this unheard of action had been done by themselves.
Right. Go ahead. Like they felt it like it was them. Why? Because they was all running around the city, running after the meat too. So when this happened, it was like, what have we been doing? It's like you snap out of it when you going totally into the left-hand side. Go ahead.
Khan. So those that were thus distressed by the famine were very desirous to die. And those already dead were esteemed happy.
Go ahead.
Because they had not lived long enough either to hear or see such miseries.
Come on.
Verse 5. This sad instance was quickly told to the Romans.
The Romans heard about it. Here's what they said. Read.
Some of who could not believe it.
Some of them but they said, that's not true. That ain't never happened. It happened. Go ahead.
And others.
That's why cops committing suicide now. Them cops seeing the hell that's going on in our hoods, and they kill themselves. They put a gun in their mouth after a while because of the horrors that they went through. Tons of sisters who work for what they call it down here, DHS, Child Services. They see what happened to them kids. Them sisters can't even stay on them jobs because of the horrors that's happening to these babies. It's bad. I used to drive when I was a kid. I used to drive for them sisters, and they'd come in the car broken apart, coming and find 2 kids tied up on a roof somewhere. You know what I mean? And you could imagine what happened to them. And they put them in the car and sister bawling, you know what I'm saying, all the way to the hospital with these 2 babies. And the babies in there asking, where we going? Where we going? And she can't even answer them because she's so distraught. That's us. This is our world. This is what happened when we turned our back on the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. But strong brothers like these Maccabean brothers that had some damn heart, brothers that cared about the spiritual things more than the physical things, and got the physical things because they believed in the spiritual things. That's who we are. That's the real us. And that's what we got to put back in us. And we can't trade it for nobody, man. You understand? I'm going to finish it up. I'm sorry, y'all. Bear with me. All right? I'm coming on. Give me about 10 more minutes. Go ahead.
Come. And others pitied the distress which the Jews were under.
Others pitied us. Other nations heard about it. Other people outside said, man, they in hell. Like you hear about today. You be able to speak and some white woman kiss your boots because she feel bad for what happened. She know about what happened. She in some agency or some way, she hear about what we suffered, and now she ready to kiss the boot. They was upset. Go ahead.
Come. But there were many of them who were hereby induced to a more bitter hatred than ordinary against our nation.
Of course them niggas did it. They niggas, ain't they? Of course. I don't expect nothing else. You understand? That's always going on nothing. They disgusting. They ain't got no morals. They this, they that. Meanwhile, they the ones causing. Right. But to them, it's a more bitter hatred. That's your cop that pulls you over. He mad at you for what? Because you in poverty and you in hell. He mad at you. He's so full of, let me see your license and registration. You such a problem when he's the one ruling over you. Right. He choking you to death. You selling Lucy's on the corner. Another crime. You niggas always doing it. What did that Zimmerman bastard say? They always get away with it. Right. Meanwhile, they ruling the whole goddamn world. Some were induced to a more hatred. Read.
But for Caesar, he excused himself before God.
When it got to Caesar, guess what he did? He excused himself before God. Here's what he said. Go.
As to this matter, and said that he had proposed peace and liberty to the Jews.
I said to be peaceful. I said let's come together, but they ain't want to listen.
Right.
It ain't my fault. What did they say to you today? At some point, you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You got to stop blaming the white man for your problems. You this, you that. That's what he did. That's why you need your records, man. Yeah. You need your records. You need your history. You need to stop listening to these fools out here. Don't care how bad it make you feel. Get the real story from your record. Your people had it for you. You understand? Go ahead.
Come.
No, let's stop right there real quick. Y'all know I got to read a couple of lines of the Maccabees and we out. All right? Come on with it, Q. Matter of fact, you got your apocryphal with you? Pull it up for me. I'm going to read a little bit of this and we done. We getting out these chairs. Is the food moving? I don't see no sisters eating. I don't hardly see no brothers eating. Hell. Huh? No. Whatever way you doing, as long as we getting it out the door.
Come.
All right, let's go.
Come.
Last bit, y'all.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 41. Then Judas appointed certain men to fight against those.
Wait, first give me what happened when the Greeks showed up. And he went and took them to the mountains. Then give me, I just want that little part, and then the very end when we went to rededicate the temple after we kicked the Greeks behind. Let's first just take a quick look at what happened that got us into this in the first place, which is always what gets us into it. The only reason we ever fall is because some nation knows that you will be a good slave to them. That's all. It ain't all this politics and all this. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. All it got to do with is they want you to be a slave and they want to rule over you. That's it. Everything else is a smoke screen. Go ahead, Doc.
Come. Yeah, verse 3, sir.
Try it.
Come. It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 23.
If you could get me, Q, come on with it. If you could get me where the one cat said, let us go on to the Romans to the Greeks for before, but since we left them, we have had no prosperity. Give me that verse. I'm gonna read about 3 lines of that, and then I'm gonna go to the end of the ceremony, and we'll wrap it up on the tape. All right, let's go. Like, we got to hold our nation together, man. We got to hold it together and bring all our brothers and sisters into it. We got to add our culture to ourselves, man, and make ourselves great again. Make ourselves the people of God again. You got it? Whoever got it, pass it to me. Go ahead. First Maccabees 1:13, hit that.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 13.
Like, we let the spirit of a warrior come out of us when it comes to doing evil or doing crime. Some brothers, man, that do crime is some of the coldest, baddest dudes you ever met. And they comfortable being a criminal. But you know what we never let come out? We never let that same spirit come out when it comes to fighting for our righteousness. Because subconsciously, it's even more unacceptable. Like they pumping rap music into the ether all the time. So it's comfortable to act like a gangster and want to put on that spirit. But they ain't pumping out no spirit of a righteous man at all. So when you put that spirit on, it feels like it ain't as comfortable. It's damn near like you looking for permission to be it. I'm giving you permission. Be that warrior. Come on with it. Damn right. All right. Finish me up.
Come, the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 13.
Go ahead.
Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen.
Because he was already coming up against us. He was already saying, y'all got to leave y'all laws. We all should be one. Same philosophy as America. They've been saying this since the Greeks. Y'all got to be together as one. We got to all leave our religions, man. We got to be together as one. And then some of them saw it as an opportunity. Some of them saw it like, oh, okay, that means we ain't got to listen to the Levites no more. Because the Romans said we could do this and we could do that, which is once again another tool to destroy us. You understand? These laws in this society, forget about it. Wipe us out. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise.
Brother mentioned it early. They started building gymnasium workouts to get stronger to fight for the Romans. Go ahead.
At Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen.
Now jump to me to the part where they came and called Mattathias to come down. Can you get that part? Where they called him to come down and to worship, and he refused. You got it? Call it out. Whoever get it first, call it out. Then somebody get me the part when we actually dedicated the temple, and I'm done.
So I got First Maccabees 2:14. It says, then Mattathias and his son rent their clothes.
Go above it.
Come, sir. The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 7. He said, woe is me. Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and the holy city, and to dwell there.
Brother, I love that scripture. Man. He was like, man, wherefore was I born to see this, man? Like, that's a real cold killer right there. Right. He was like, why was I even born to see my city and my people destroyed. Brother, that you got to put that in your chest. You got to take a spoonful of that like it's cough medicine and swallow it down. You got to have it in your chest that you got to hate the condition of your people. You got to hate what has happened to us here. You got to hate every Uncle Tom that has sold us out and destroyed us and belittled us and wiped us out. You understand? You got to hate what Michael Jackson became. You know what I'm saying? Here's a boy that never became a man, that became instead a white girl, and then put him in the Wonderland, the Neverland. Made him a white girl and put him in the Neverland. You're supposed to be mad as hell behind that. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not supposed to like that, man. Come on, finish me up.
When it was delivered into the hand of the enemy and the sanctuary in the hand of strangers.
It was given to the strangers, man, to them. That's what's going on in Jerusalem right now. It's in the hand of the strangers. Come on.
Verse 8. Her temple is become as a man without glory.
Right. That's us. We're like a man with no glory. Go ahead.
Verse 9. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets. Her young men with the sword of the enemy.
Speed me up to when they told them, come and make the sacrifice. Can you get that? Speed it up to that part. Anybody? And somebody get the part when they went back to dedicate the temple. Unless that was that part. Give me those two parts. And we finished. He saw it. He saw it and he hated it. He said, why was I born for this, man? And you should see it too. You should see the homeless. Don't just go by the homeless, but see them. You should look at them. Look at them. Look at the number of them. Look at the condition of them and wonder about it. Like, this is a normal person that ended up in this situation. How? This wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we done been brainwashed to think the homeless is something special wrong with them. No, they you and me. But they in this situation. Why? How? What happened? What was done? This is your nation. You're supposed to be concerned. You got it for me?
Go
ahead.
First Macabees 2:23. Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar.
Wait a minute. Go back. Is right before that when they asked him to sacrifice? Is going down? 17, come and bring it down.
The book of First Maccabees chapter 2 verse 17.
And to water for y'all patience, y'all. One or two more lines will be done. Go ahead.
Then answered the king's officers and said to Mattathias,
if y'all cold, we can shut the door too. No takers. Go.
On this wise, thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in this city.
They went to him and tried to gas him up. You honorable, man. You great. You Michael Jordan. You Jay-Z. You this and this. Go ahead.
And strengthened with sons and brethren.
Jay-Z, when the brothers protested for the brothers that was getting killed by the cops, that bastard went down there and said, let's let it all go, basically, so we can get back to football. You know what I'm saying? Over them. He's this piece of garbage right here. Go ahead. But we love him. Like that sounds strange to some of you, because we love him so much. But this cat sold us all the way out. Cats was on the knee. The NFL was in hell. They didn't know what to do, and went and got this sellout to go run up in there and pretend like all this is over. And he did exactly what he was commissioned to do and ran everybody back, ended it and got everybody back in the damn football. Damn it to hell. You understand? Go ahead,
Come. Verse 18. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandments, like as all the heathen have done.
Right. Come now and join us. Fulfill the king's command. I ain't saying you can't watch football. Y'all mad? I see brothers looking at me like, you can't watch no football no more. You watch all the football you want. I am not watching with you. But there's nothing lawful. There's nothing wrong with you watching no football. I'm pointing out, watch the football, but don't be a slave under the football. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like don't be appalled when you see Michael Jordan floating in the air or LeBron James hitting that 3-pointer. Be appalled at the idea that these bastards are able to use the bloodline of Jesus Christ to make millions. They're using the bloodline of Jesus Christ to make a mint for themselves while you starve in the streets. Like, be angry for that and still enjoy the jump shot. Damn right. Come on with it.
God. Like as all the heathen have done, yea, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem, so shalt thou in thy house be in the number of thy king's friends, and thou
right, you're gonna be loved by the king, you're gonna get wealth, you're gonna get power. You don't sell your soul for that, man. Don't do that. You know what I mean? And that's why LeBron stirred it up, and I heard he stirred up something else walking out on the field with his son. And guess what? Guess who called him up and told him to stop protesting? It was Obama. Obama called him up and said, "You guys, it's time to stop now. It's time to stop." And he got up off of the thing after that. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, Doc.
Come. And thy children shall be
guess
honored.
what? Guess what? Since that happened, you still dying in the street. Finish it.
Come. And thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards. Verse 19. Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers and give consent to his commandments. Verse 20. Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers.
He stuck to our covenant, brother. We stuck to what we stuck to. Go ahead.
Verse 21. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. Verse 22. We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left.
Go ahead.
Verse 23. Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which is at Modin.
That's us. Later for that nigga, man. I don't bow to no nigga. Later for him. And went up there to do sacrifice on the altar right after he made the speech. So defiant of the Most High and so willing to sell his soul out, you understand, to the heathen. And that a man like that should not be praised. A man like that should not be praised. And in ancient times, we didn't praise him. Go ahead.
According to the king's commandment, verse 24. When Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew upon the altar. Slew him upon the altar.
Killed him right on, which the altar is holy. You ain't supposed to sacrifice nothing on the altar but what the Lord required. But he was so damn angry, he actually sacrificed a human being on God's altar. Which is insane. He went up in there and slayed this cat right on the Lord's altar. Go ahead.
Verse 25. Also the king's commissioner who compelled men to sacrifice.
He killed him too. Go ahead.
He killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down.
Go ahead.
Verse 26. Thus he dealt zealously for the law of God, like as Phineas and like it did unto Zambri, the son of Salom.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. That's another account that we don't have the records of no more. There's another brother who went and fought for our nation, and we don't even have those records no more of what they did. And as you know in the story, for those that may not know, we turned around from there and we fought them Greeks, ran them out of our land, reestablished the temple, and thus we have the Hanukkah High Holy Day. The water, y'all. The water for being patient to the end. You know what I'm saying? Say again? Give me the dedication. Give me the dedication. Last point, Salak, y'all. Last point.
This the book.
If you need to get up and move around or whatever, we just gonna read it. And y'all do whatever you have to do. All right? Go ahead.
This the book of First Macabees, chapter 4, verse 52. Now on the 25th day of the 9th month, which is called the month Caslu, and the 140th, like in the 148th year, they rose up betimes in the morning. Verse 53. and offered sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of burnt offerings which they had made.
They built this new altar based on fighting them Greeks and getting them out of there. Go ahead.
Verse 54. Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it, even in that was it dedicated with songs and cisterns and harps and cymbals.
Because we understood back then how important it was that the Lord was with us, and how important it was for us to maintain the mindset that these heathens will take us out anytime they get ready if we're not on our game. Go ahead.
Verse 55. Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the God of heaven, who had given them good success. Verse 56. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days, and offered burnt offerings with gladness, and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise.
That's right.
Verse 57. They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold and with shields, and the gates and the chambers they renewed, and hanged doors upon them. Verse 58. Thus was there very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away. Verse 59.
That's right.
Moreover, Judas and his brethren with the whole congregation of Israel ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year by the space of 8 days, from the 25th day of the month Caslu, and mirth, and with mirth and gladness.
With mirth and gladness, we celebrated. We're gonna have us a drink tonight. We're gonna be loud as hell up in here tonight. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 60. At that time also they builded up the Mount Zion with high walls and strong towers round about.
Strengthen their city. We supposed to be strengthening ourselves, strengthening our brothers. You know what I'm saying? Strengthening our sisters, our families, our children. Go ahead.
Lest the Gentiles should come and tread it down as they had done before.
We're supposed to be watching over ourselves, lest they come and tread us down. We're supposed to be looking at our camps, looking at our lives, looking at our, they ain't out and out fighting us right now, but they wasn't after this dedication either. But they were still watching, which is what we should be watching. How much more homeless are we having? What's going on that the prices of rent is going up? His brothers being able to get jobs. His sisters able to survive. Who needs what? Who's in the shelter? Yada, 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 yada. That's the job. That's the mission. That it? Thank you, brother. That it?
The last verse, verse
Go ahead.
61. And they sat there a garrison to keep it, and fortified Besura to preserve it.
They was watching for their nation. We supposed to be watching for black people, our Latino brothers and sisters. Supposed to be outraged at what they're doing to us on the border, in these shelters. They talking to migrants, These are our brothers and sisters. And here's the thing. Here's what's deep about it. The brothers and sisters that coming across that border, they coming from wars. They coming from nations and tyranny and all kind of evil that these brothers and sisters suffered back then.
Right.
There's some heathen in their nation using their own people to kill and destroy them. So they running the hell up out of here. These Edomites acting like, they just want part of America, like America. They'd rather be in their own country. If the money was right, if y'all wasn't robbing everything from them. So if they already starting to go through it, brother, we better look at that. Look at that and do the job Christ called us to do. Go ahead, yo.
Come. That the people might have a defense against Idumea.
You hear that? This dedication tonight is so that the people might have a defense against Idumea. Damn right, y'all. That's it. We good now. So that's it. We done. Brother's like, is he gonna say another chapter? No, we done. We finished and done. God, good to see y'all. I thought, man, I want to see that baby. Where's I thought he gone?
Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rapper, busy man, shit, nigga. They take their head over, nigga. I read where Eve did to Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like Steph.
stamps and I can't let no holder lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying. This shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert. Another cop just stretch the nigga. He a demon, it's an exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that oath in blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. Fuck the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit, and I ain't listening. Is it fact if revenge was a woman, now I stroke that bitch like Jack the Ripper. War, we gon' run the summer. It's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real triggering on them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? When he saying something, I ain't hear him. This shit light. It ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chains. 6 shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand and feed you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, I with that hollow sign, yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still about my bread, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.